All right, everyone, we are here with two very special guests. We have Ashley and Taylor from unknown season of Temptation Island. We were just debating if, because it's had a new rebrand almost on Netflix, that it's like season one, we're gonna maybe like stick to season one. And sorry to all those that were on it, but ladies, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Super excited. Rhea and I actually got to meet Ashley down in Florida when we were down doing a little event in Fort Lauderdale, and I kind of felt like I was already jumping like into the show, like right
I forgot about that part
right away.
Oh, no.
Which was why it was so funny. Like I was like, oh my god, this is like real life. We'll get to it, but you guys are spending a little bit of time in New York. How are you feeling? Do you guys love New York?
I love New York. Every time I come here, I'm only here for a few days.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's just something in the air. I feel like I can only stay for a few days at a time, but I do love being here.
Yes, I feel so inspired. You can just sit outside and people watch, and people are just serving love.
That is
just
true.
on the street. I'm like, I'm here for it.
That is true, especially now when the weather starts to get a little bit nicer. The outfits are out. Like that is kind of my favorite thing, is when I walk around to be like, wow, that's a choice.
Interesting. Sure.
Yeah, but it makes it so much fun. And you're right, when it's only for like a few days, I think the like New York stays very romanticized. And then like when you're here for a few months, it's probably like, oh
Yeah.
okay, maybe
Yeah.
maybe this subway station is a little gross.
Oh, we've avoided the subway. We're not going there, but we tried.
Yesterday, I typed in Subway, and it took us to the Subway sandwich shop. So I said, never mind.
Yeah. Yeah, that's there's also a lot of those.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those too. So take you in the wrong direction. But now that the show has it's been over for a little bit of time now, you guys have maybe attempted to get back to normal life. Do you feel like you've done it yet or no?
I feel like I've been living in a fever dream.
Yeah.
Like I'm not comprehending what's happening in my life. Like even like being here right now, I feel like what's happening.
No, well, it's great to have you guys.
1000%. I feel like when the show was released to now, it's been such a dream, but it was like that interim period of wrapping the show in like 7 months of just sitting around being like, oh, what did we do?
Yeah.
Right.
So,
and the 7 months in between seems like it could have been its own show again.
oh my gosh.
Really?
For
Like,
her.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah, well, it's just like that in between time is just so crazy, because I want to go back to really why you guys decided to go on a reality show like this in the first place. Like, what were those conversations like with your then partners before when you're like, you know what? Temptation Island.
I feel like I don't even know your conversations. So.
Yeah, I feel like our stories are very different because they were in the pool like 2 weeks before we flew out. Tyler and I were there for months going through the interview process, but we were already in the database, long story short, for another show. And this one came a year later, and we were like, still on the rocks, like our relationship still sucked. So we were like, okay, yeah, this is probably something we need to do. So my woo-woo self was asking for signs from the universe and grounding and all that stuff. And things just kept happening and aligning. And so I was like, okay, we're doing it. So it was kind of like a weird experience as a whole.
Did it feel like one of you wanted to do it more than the other?
Yes, at first. I was really hesitant. I brought the idea to Tyler, and because I was the one that was contacted.
Okay.
And he was like, yes, absolutely. And then once it got like real, and it was legitimately a couple weeks before we flew out, I was like, yeah, I don't know about this. But we did it obviously anyway. So
Yeah.
yeah.
What about you, Ashley?
So I feel like obviously everyone looks at this situation, they're like, who the fuck would go on this show? But the people going on the show are people that are questioning their relationship already. Like, it's not like we went into this and we're like, hell yeah, we're going to like kick ass and leave together. At least my relationship. I had a friend casting for the show. I saw him posting it for months. A bunch of my friends are from older reality TV shows. My best friend has gone through the process of like interviewing for it. And I was like, she went through like months and months of interviews for it and then didn't get on. And I was like, I don't want to do that. And then my friend posted like, last call, Temptation Island, still looking for couples. It's going to be on Netflix. And I was like, fuck it, just submit us. And my friend knew me and Grant. And so he was like, you guys would be perfect.
Right.
We had been on and off. We had just recently got back together. And I just was like, I don't know. He is so good at words. So I was like, there's just something, like, I can't trust him. Like, this is the perfect opportunity. Let's run it. Let's test it out. And we got into the pool, like she said, like 2 weeks before. They're like, all right, you're flying out to Hawaii. And so we didn't even, it was my idea. Grant didn't really want to do it at first. And I was like, let's make the decision once we know if we got on. And then it just all happened so fast. And once they were like, all right, you're on, we were like, okay, we're going. Like, it wasn't a question at that point. So there really wasn't a conversation. It just all happened so fast.
Right. And then it's just like, you don't even have the time to really sit down with your partner to be like, wait, let's slow it down for a second. Is this a good idea? So that does make sense. That is crazy. I'm so, like, the ins and outs of it are so fascinating to me because you guys get there, you meet each other, you see all the other couples. What's your immediate reaction looking at all the other couples? Are you trying to like see, I think we're stronger than those two look, or how do you guys like, what's the initial judgment like?
But they also like kept us on ice for a lot of the time, so it's like we couldn't really talk to each other. We would
see each other and be like, that's the other couple. Like, that's another couple. They had a fifth couple, like, I don't even know if I'm supposed to say whatever. They had a reserve couple. If any of us bailed, I guess. So I would have been pissed.
I mean, they do it on Love Island, where it's like they'll fly people out, and then if it just so happens that the time for a new bombshell doesn't come, like, then they just don't end up on the show.
That sucks.
Yikes.
But free vacation, I guess.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, it's yes. But I always say that. I always think that too. I'm like, oh well, at least they're in, like, it's UK. They're like in South Africa or Mallorca or Fiji. You guys are in Hawaii, but you're not really allowed to do that much.
No.
Like, you kind of have to stay where you're at.
They gave us room keys to leave.
Right, like, they don't want you
They took
going
the phones.
out there.
We were just literally sitting in the room.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So.
But I remember walking past you guys, and I was like, how did, like, because you were blonde at the time, I was like, how did they cast two very similar couples?
And we joke that Grant is like 1.0 and Tyler is 2.0. Like, Grant's definitely the worst, but like Tyler is a lessened version in a way.
That also cracks me up because I do think there's something so funny with blondes where, like, when there's another blonde in the room, they're like, there's another blonde.
Yes.
But there's like so many, I don't know if brunettes are just like, there's more brunettes or like more, but like when there's like blonde, they're like clocked.
Yep.
That's the other blondes.
And we were like blonde hair, blue eyes, literally.
They would pull us when we were all in groups and be like, you guys need to change. You look the same on camera.
Right.
now.
You got to be in like different stuff. Yeah. That makes sense. Right? Like, so then you guys, you're in the show, you separate from your partners, you're in this house, you have all these new guys. As a viewer, it's hard to remember all the names of these guys. Was it hard for you guys to remember some of them?
I didn't know who any of these men were for the first, like, I don't know, week.
Yeah.
I'm really
There's
good
a lot
at
of
names.
them.
I'm really good at names.
No,
So I could rattle off, but I have bartender mentality, so but it's all good.
What is the energy like from the guys right away? Because it's a weird thing where, like, they're brought in to be tempting, but some of them seem like they do not care at all. So how do you, like, read these guys when you go in?
I think they immediately read our vibe. We were down bad.
Yeah.
Like,
bad.
It was stale. I feel very bad for them for the first few days. So we ended up having like a mixer that first night that didn't air
because it was so bad.
We were just like crying.
Crashing out.
Why are we doing this?
These poor men are trying to get to know us, ask us questions, and I'm like, I know me. I'm sure the scenes were just me being like, yeah, cool. So where are you from?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
cool.
right.
I live in Florida.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
So who tried the most, like, right off the bat, do you think?
cute?
Yikes.
Like, do some of them come on too strong?
I don't know. That's hard. I kind of had a little love triangle for a minute there with my triple C's. It was Case, Chris, and Cody.
Some might call that a square.
Yeah. Well, you have to count yourself.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. I was literally like, what?
No, there's still 3.
Yes.
Okay, 4. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Math.
Math is hard sometimes, but yeah. So but they were respectful. I think the most aggressive was definitely Cody.
Yeah.
But Case was like a little sweet baby bird, and then Chris was just like happy to be there. So very different vibes, but they were all really respectful in our house and let us go through the process and tried to support us. But there's some things that obviously weren't aired.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, nothing, at least for me. I mean, obviously you said whoever, there's just other situations with other people, but my suitors were very respectful. Suitors.
Okay.
Yep.
Respectful.
Our gentlemen.
Yeah.
Yes. Because it just seemed like, I forget which one it was, but maybe one of those guys.
Yeah.
That like left and then came back.
That's sweet baby bird Case.
Yeah. Right. Which is like such an interesting phenomenon in reality TV. I was like, wow. Normally they don't let you just pop off and then pop back in.
Yeah, there's some tea, but
Yeah. That whole situation was crazy. And then Logan being like, yeah, bro, yeah, go do it, go.
Yeah, right.
Like gaslighting him. He was like, I'm doing it. I'm like,
You're like, it's totally time for you to leave.
Yeah.
I think.
Logan didn't think you would actually leave, though.
Yeah.
We did have that conversation.
Yeah.
hilarious.
When you go to your first bonfire, is your like heart just like in your asshole? Like, how do you feel?
I was fully having a panic attack. Like, the producers were scared for me. They had to show me the clip first because I was freaking. I was like
shaking.
mute. I was shaking.
Yeah.
Because I knew, which like the first bonfire I didn't, and then I lost my mind when I saw the first clip because it was nothing.
Right.
Like, I was like, it could go one way or another, and they gave me a clip of him saying, "Yeah, I just don't know if we're meant to be." I'm like, isn't that the whole fucking concept of being here?
Yeah.
Like, who picked this clip?
What's worse, getting a nothing clip like that or getting like a full blown your boyfriend's making out with somebody clip?
Oh, I got both.
Yeah, I
Literally, we both,
yeah.
I think the first one was worse because
Because you're like, this can't be it.
the moment
like,
we
you're not
separated,
telling me
I
something.
knew. Like, I knew how it was going to play out for me. And I think I knew that going into it. And I just, like, needed to see it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, but I was, like, way more nervous for the first, but I don't know.
Yeah.
The first one was, I was just pissed. I was like, who gave me this clip?
Right.
Who picked this?
Because it's like, there's so much time. So you're like, okay, this is 15 seconds. Like, what else?
Like, I knew him. I was
happening.
like, there's no way you couldn't
Right.
have given me something more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Do you guys feel like you got some good advice from our guy, Mark Wahlberg? Because I actually think he has a lot of wisdom.
Yes. I mean, honestly, he was really there for me when I had my little minty bee at the second bonfire. And I really appreciated that. And he has this dad aura in the best way.
Yeah.
And when Case came back and, he did literally tear up and was like crying with me. I'm like, oh, wow. Like, this is for real. And he was very sweet. So yes, for me.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I just was not in a place after every bonfire or like during every bonfire to be receiving of his
100%.
advice and questions.
That's fair, because I do think it is very dad-like, where it's like, I know you're hurting, but here's the hard truth.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is not what I want to hear right now.
Yeah.
So that does make sense. I think maybe from watching it, it's like, oh, yes. That's what she, like, tell her. That's what she needs to hear.
But being in the seat, different.
Totally different feeling. How familiar were you guys with the full format of the show before you went on? Like, had you seen it? Like, did you know about like the what do they call it when you go into the other little hideaway? Temptation
I knew
Haven and like the light. Like, did you guys know about all these things.
That was new. I don't think
They had other, I don't remember what it was.
Content.
They may
But
have
had
called it something else, but they did
Yeah.
something another season with the light. And
Yeah. I had a friend on season 1.
Okay.
So I knew.
Mhm.
I hadn't watched it until I started interviewing. And then I started watching her season and I was like, okay. Well, it was like exactly what I expected it to be. But
yeah. For
again, I started interviewing late in the process.
Right,
I knew what it was.
yeah.
You already
Pretty
had a feeling,
clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little different for me because they could tell I was a little hesitant going through the interview process, and they said that there was going to be a lot of things there that did not happen. So, like workshops, therapy, they were like, we don't want you to come on this show just to break up with one another.
Right,
we
right.
want to give you tools and all this stuff. We got on there, and I was like, ain't no tools in this situation.
Yeah.
It was, so.
They're looking for as much drama as possible, really. I mean, I'm impressed that any couple can make it through that show if they even really can, or even like get it to that point. Obviously things happen after, or even when people leave or don't leave together, but as like those conversations you're having in the house, like that light turns on, what are you guys feeling?
Immediate. No, I was like, that's Grant.
Yeah.
No, like immediate. It did not bother me really. I feel,
But it was Tyler the first time.
for 2 seconds, and then it was Grant.
Yeah.
Because remember it went. I don't know how it aired,
Yeah.
but the first night it went off 2 different
Twice.
times.
Yeah.
So I was like, so someone just went in,
Right.
Yeah.
checked it out, and then I was like, the person that's fucking in there, it's Grant.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Now, sorry, Grant, when you guys first started dating, there was a cheating thing, right?
there sure was. Yeah.
Okay. So it's like when that happens, it's already in your mind of like, this is what I'm testing him on, and I don't think he's going to pass at all.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch it back, the show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not in its entirety.
Okay. Oh,
I
no.
definitely fast forwarded a bunch of.
I woke up at 3 a.m. when it aired, East Coast time, and me and my best friends watched it back to back for 10 hours straight.
Oh my God.
Did not do that.
Well, what's it like? Yeah, because that's true. But then all the episodes come out at one
Yes.
time? Okay, they did. Okay, I was forgetting if they did it like that or like they do with like Love Is Blind,
Like
where
in
it's like
chunks.
Threes
chunks.
and
Which is what we
threes.
wanted.
Yes.
But
But they
Right.
full
I'm sure
sent
next
it.
season we'll get it.
Yeah, right. Well, it's so different because now they format like even the older seasons, it was week to week.
Yeah.
So that was always such a cliffhanger. Like I would wait till the end. I would wait till the end of the season to like
Just
watch
watch
them
it.
all
Binge.
because you wanted to see how it all went down. But the group of girls all seemed really close. Did you guys bond pretty quickly?
Immensely.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just very like standoffish at first. I don't know. I have a lot of trauma with girlfriends, a lot of trauma with guys I've dated. Like, so I'm just hesitant with everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, as close as we could be in the situation we were put in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like, honestly, I was the closest to Shantae on the show. And then afterwards, I feel like, obviously, her and I have grown super close. And Alexa and Lena are living their little happy fantasy.
Right.
So,
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's like he proposed. And it's just, I don't know. It's crazy. I think there's some things where I'm like, oh my God, imagine that's how it ends for you. But no.
you're like, how did you guys get engaged? Oh,
Right.
well,
Yeah, we tried to date
Yeah.
like 15 other people. Didn't work.
Yeah.
I knew it was the one.
That story.
That classic. It is, I mean, it's funny because it is such a testament to like dating and reality TV and everything in this day and age. And like when they're telling their kids like how mom and dad met, you're like, don't watch it. It's not a home video. Like it's
This is not The Bachelor.
Yeah, it's not.
This is rated X. So,
It is not the whole video you want to watch. Okay, so Ashley, you watch the whole show right away. You see, did you have any idea the things Grant was saying while, like, afterwards, in between, or was it, like, very fresh in those interviews?
I mean, I think he did and said everything I expected him. Like, nothing took me by surprise watching it back. Except the things that did take me by surprise, I will say, sorry, I'll backtrack on that, was obviously they watched their bonfire clips of us.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm only hearing from the relationship guys like what my clips were. So Grant made me feel as though this clip he saw was just me talking mad shit. I just absolutely shit on his whole life. I was so disrespectful. I talked to Natalie. Natalie was like, when he came back from the first bonfire, it was like, you just absolutely tore him to shreds. And he was like, relationship's over. Can't believe she would talk to me like that or talk about me like that. And then I watch it, and my first bonfire clip was like, I don't remember what I said. It was nothing.
Like
It was not. It was,
relationship.
yeah, it was just
Yeah.
like, I don't know if this is going to work. Like,
Yeah. I'm like, so for the period between filming and before it aired, I had been beating myself up, and that's, we don't have to get into the whole getting back together with him. But like in my mind, I was like, I'm going to come off as a raging bitch. Everyone's going to think I'm so awful. Like, he made me think that what I said was equivalent to what he did.
Right.
And like after a while being removed from the situation, I'm like, well, I don't remember, and maybe you're right. And like I was just convinced that I was horrible. And then I watched it and I was like, wait.
I mean, it blew my mind, and I think a lot of viewers' minds watching and kind of having him say, you know, it's really going to come down to if Ashley can get over this resentment and move on and trust me. Meanwhile, he's
smashing,
making out, like he's he's hooking up with gals.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, the resentment is because you're of that, and you're still doing it. So she's probably not gonna let that go.
Yeah. It's the whole thing. He's so delusional that it like made me delusional.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's my excuse.
What was it like for you kind of watching back what Tyler was saying?
To be honest, it was a very healing experience because I blocked him like basically a month and a half, 2 months after the show. Like we wrapped and I was done and I never looked back because it was the same gaslighty situation when we got back home. He was talking to another girl, trying to have his cake and eat it too, but cry on my phone for hours. I was like, I'm not doing this to myself. So when I watched it back, I was like pretty healed by that time. And so I was like, I dodged a bullet. Very thankful for this. And I'm glad I stood 10 toes down and said what I said.
Right. Exactly.
I'm going to take that to the grave. So,
yep, as you should.
Yeah.
What was it like kind of having to see them during a lot of this process now? Because like you said, it was 7 months in between, and then the show airs. Everyone's talking about the show. You're doing press. Sometimes you guys are all together. What was it like having to like be around them?
One word for me, ick. I'm just icked out.
Yeah.
Before the show aired, obviously, Grant and I got back together for a little bit. We broke up. I broke up with him, and I was like, you know what? Maybe the show will air. I'll feel differently. Did not feel differently watching the show air, and everything that went down after, like just an absolute dumpster fire.
Yeah.
This man, if I wasn't mortified already, like I just have secondhand embarrassment for how everything played out. We went on a different podcast where we were together. Sorry, let me reword that.
Okay.
We went on a different podcast where it was the group of us doing the little reunion, and Grant said, I'll leave her alone. Like, I'm not going to reach out to her anymore. Corners me after the podcast. Like, would not let me leave. Would not let me leave. And this man has not left the vicinity of the block of my apartment, I swear to God. So
I mean, look, we don't have to like you don't even have to comment on it, but I'll just say when we were in Fort Lauderdale, and we were having an event, and people were like, "Oh, Grant's upstairs from Temptation Island," and I was like, "What?" And then he was like walking back and forth, and then we met some of your friends, and I was like, "Grant's upstairs," and they were like, "He is." Ashley's coming here, and she doesn't know he's even here. And I was like, "Oh my God, this is." I was like, now. Personally, I was like, "Oh my God, I'm in the show."
Tea.
I'm like, "Oh my God."
She's like, I'm going to see them interact.
It's happening. It's happening in real life. But no, seems like he, should go back to where he lives.
Okay, that's what I want to be very clear about because people don't get it. He does not live in the same city that I live in.
Yeah.
Like, very, very clear.
Yeah.
I think he has a tracker on her, to be honest. Like,
crazy.
I don't know.
I haven't been home in a couple weeks, and I just checked in with my roommate, and she has seen him a lot.
I'm like,
dude, weird. Bye.
Yeah, I don't know. So I'm never going home. I'm moving. I'm moving to Iowa.
Yes. That is crazy. did you ever really get to have, and I think you have, right, like where you and Natalie have gotten to kind of talk it out?
Yeah. Yeah. So immediately after I broke up with Grant, I just reached out to her because I was like, the show's coming out soon. I'm not trying to be fake. I'm not trying to be like, let's be best friends. But I just had so much anxiety about it all. And I was like, I don't want to sit here and hate this girl. I'm just going to reach out, see what she has to say, and we'll just go from there. And we just kind of got on the phone. It was a little awkward at first, and then it just rolled. And we talked about timelines and all the texts he sent. Right when we broke up, he hit her up.
What date was that?
Receipts. Yeah. So we're chill. We're cool.
Yeah.
Obviously, the situation of the show isn't like the best light of the whole situation, but it is what it is, and she did the job she signed up for, so we're cool.
Right. I was gonna say, is it kind of hard afterwards? Like, I mean, the guys are kind of doing the same thing, but I think girls sometimes are just a little bit more forward in that scenario, and like you're on reality TV, and perhaps I think just naturally girls are better at reality TV than guys are, where you're like, oh my God, they just jumped right into it, and the guys maybe are a little bit slower.
But from I get what you're saying. From my perspective, I feel like the guys in our house are in a way better light than the girls in the guys. Just because of,
well, the guys put them in these ridiculous situations.
Yeah.
Where it's like the guys are telling them, my relationship's over.
Yeah.
And they're like,
but
okay.
I'll actually marry her tomorrow.
Yeah, but it's like, oh, but if at the last bonfire she says she wants to leave with me, I'm going to leave with her. Then it's like, well, what? You're just, it's crazy. But you guys have stayed friends with a lot of the guys. You've been in New York with some of your guys, Ash. Is it just a friendship thing? Danny was here.
For the most part.
Logan was here.
We'll say it like that.
For the most part.
To like spill it.
I think they're both absolutely adorable,
oh my God,
by the way.
I love them. I am obsessed with them. I love them. But it's like hard to navigate. Like they are in the limelight. They're loving it. They're young. They have so much attention on them right now. And I just want them to enjoy the ride and have a good time. But like obviously I have my little crush on them too. So just trying to tiptoe around all that. And
love that you're saying crush on them. Like they're like a package.
They are.
Yes, they are.
For me, they are. For everyone else, they're not.
Yeah.
Period.
No, that's so fun. And it's fun that you guys get to like go on trips and see each other, because where they both live.
Well, Danny's from Nebraska.
Okay.
Logan's from Iowa. They're both living together in Iowa.
Wow.
So random. Like such a random
They
state.
must absolutely tear it up.
That's what I'm saying.
Celebrities.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, I am trying so hard to not be like jealous and like.
Right.
I just gotta let them have their.
Yes.
Oh my God, that's pretty funny. Pretty funny though. I mean, what has dating life kind of been like for both of you post show? Non-existent. Okay, great. Dark, long pause. It's either non-existent or a lot. I can't tell from the pause.
Well,
We still just can't answer it.
I feel like everyone thinks I have people in my DMs. There's
Girls.
absolutely no men in my DMs.
Thousands of girls.
No one,
Right, just girls being like, wow, your ex really sucks.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, well, we'll manifest some guys being in the DMs.
Some men.
Exactly.
Men.
Let's go men.
Rich
grown,
men, yes.
grown men.
Yes.
Recently, there was a breakup between Shantae and Brown. That was like,
We're like with it.
I know. I was like, wait, who?
where it was, well, I think people were absolutely shocked to watch the show and then be like, oh my God, they left, and then check social media and be like, holy shit, and they're somehow still together.
Yeah.
And it seems like that hasn't now worked out. Was there any moments in time, like during this process when you're on the show, that you're looking at her like, please do not leave with this guy?
They kind of clip it a little at the end when we're all sitting by the pool right before our final bonfires. They clip me saying like, Shantae, like, I know what you want to do, but you gotta do this for like the world.
Yeah.
And I was like, you can go home, get back together with him, do whatever you want, but I was like, you need to leave
The
him
show can't
on
end
this
like
show.
this. Yes.
And it felt as though she was listening.
Right. I mean, you see how hard it was on the final bonfire for her. She was making the decision.
He got her.
It's the crocodile tears.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Look, I don't know how they at this point, and I'm sure they'll find it because now it's one of those shows where I don't think people even realize that there's like international versions of it, and those clips have gone viral, and people are like, "Oh my god, the things that happen on this show are crazy." And your season felt so crazy, so it's like I don't know what happens next, but like full blown, threesome into. No, I'm pretty sure she'll forgive me for that. Like I just had to get it out of my system. I was like, the delusion that these guys live in is out of this world.
Mm-hmm. And that's the hard part is like they're so delusional, but then here we are allowing it. Right. So it's like we gotta fucking stand on our business.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? They're gone now.
Yeah.
Maybe there's little breaks, but they're gone now.
They're gone now.
And that's what I felt when I saw that breakup, even when it was like a couple weeks ago. I was like, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. At least it took her a while, and I hope there's no backpedal. But it's not good. Yeah. It can't be good at this point.
Not sure what's going on over there.
Yeah. It's so hard on social media, too, to tell because it's like you get a breakup happens, the social media is wiped, and you're like, okay, he's gone, he's done. But then who knows what's, you never know what else is happening. Where does she live?
Atlanta,
okay. And they both are in Atlanta. Yeah. Yep. I feel like it's hard when... It's crazy because I keep thinking like any other reality show, and some of you guys don't live in the same places, but like you go back to your city or your town or whatever, it's like, no, that's like you're couples. You have so many mutual friends, so many people you hang out with.
Yeah, Grant lived with me.
Hard.
So
I would literally like go to Costco and run into Tyler, or go to the gym and run into Tyler and his new girlfriend.
Right. I would just go downstairs.
To the mall. Yeah.
Right.
I'm like, oh, this is great.
Right, because it's like just trying to get back into the real life swing of things. But I think moving forward, my advice to Netflix is they have to do some kind of reunion.
Oh my God, they dropped the ball so hard.
I don't know how they didn't do that.
I think they know. I feel like they had no idea how the show was going to play out, and I think they also had no idea how much shit went down after the fact.
That's
exactly.
True. So I mean that's like on them too. I mean, they got to be locked in to see what's going on. Even not, it's like throw something together really fast. They can throw something together pretty fast.
You're Netflix.
Yeah, like they can do it. I'm sure they'll do it now moving forward. Maybe because they didn't do it for the other season, so they were like, we'll keep the same. Did they?
I think like the last
you know what?
seasons,
they did. Yeah. They did.
Yeah. The ones on Peacock?
No, on
USA?
They did stream on Peacock. Yes. Because it was like on USA, and then it was on, or maybe it was on like Lifetime or something first, and then it was on USA. It was all over the place at first.
Around.
It has.
Yeah.
It has. I'll never forget, Rhea and I were like just starting off doing our podcast, and we were doing videos, and whatever network it was on had reached out for us to do just like ads or recaps, but they were, paid promo for the show. And we were like, we had never seen it before, but we just like read the description of the show, and we were like, what the fuck is this?
You're like, no, not interested.
We were like, I don't know. Like this seems, should we be telling people to watch something like this?
This feels unsafe.
Yes. And now I'm truly so obsessed. After that, I was like, I gotta check it out. And then I watched it, and even when people were stopped kind of watching, I was like, I'm so locked into this. And Netflix is obviously really gonna give it a whole
different
new life, different spin. Exactly. Yeah. So, but you guys will always be that first season on Netflix, and who knows, but like Netflix is so great because there's so many other reality shows now, and they have so much crossover. Are there any other Netflix reality shows you guys would want to go on?
I'm 3.
Which one? Wait, which one are you gonna say? Because now my mind has changed in the last few days.
I was gonna say Perfect Match.
Yeah. I feel like that's the obvious one, but I've always said I wanted to do like a strategy one or a game. Like I haven't watched Battle Camp yet. Not to plug it because I haven't watched it.
I want. It just came out, so it's very.
I want to do some wild shit. I'm
like competition.
Yeah. I'm so down for that. I don't know who we need to talk to, but put me on.
Right,
I'd be good.
That would be great. I know Perfect Match really does seem. I have a bone to pick with Perfect Match though, and it's the same kind of thing with any of these Netflix shows. They just take too long to come out.
Yeah,
and they film them so far in advance, and then it's like so much happens in between. I mean, this past season of Perfect Match, they're already talking about couples. Like there's already a couple that's engaged. We haven't even seen the season.
Yeah, they filmed September.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
It's like there's full blown, and they publicly said like we're engaged.
Yeah,
and we were like, oh. But it's like, I guess the mystery was like, but do they win? Who knows?
Gosh.
Well, I'm like, who cares if they win? We want to see.
I forgot there's even
drama.
a point of winning on that.
Right?
show.
Yeah,
I didn't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's all the drama. But
We went and got cheated on for free.
Yeah.
guys, I think Perfect Match would be great. Or, I mean, I feel like there's
We're locked
so
into
mother
Netflix right now.
Yeah,
but
which
like,
is good. Yeah. Just good. And I do think that once you're in, you're in. So hopefully,
let's hope so.
Let's hope that works out because I think it'd be great. And there's so much drama still with Temptation Island that they should capitalize on that. Okay, the last question I have for you guys, it is our Armani Beauty question. While filming Temptation Island, at what point are you like, I don't even know what I look like? Like what are your beauty secrets for still trying to look good on a show like that?
My lashes saved my life. Is that what we're talking about? I do my own lashes, and so they last like a week. So I feel like that's the only thing that got me through.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I would have just looked like a dead rat.
I was gonna say like eye patches. Ashley and I are obsessed with the eye patches. So like in the morning, literally just putting those on and just like being a skeleton.
Love it.
Yeah.
Okay, my part 2 of the question is, what was the biggest like misconception you had going in that when you started filming you were like, whoa, I did not realize it was going to be like this?
I don't know if I have an answer to that because, okay, so Grant owned a videography company. So I was like not used to being behind that many cameras, but used to the setting. I'm trying to think if there's anything. I mean, there was a lot more pulling to the side.
Like confessionals
and interviews than I assumed there would be.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't a lot of in real time
Yeah.
filming an event. It was like, all right, so you just did something for 2 seconds. Now we got to go pull you and ask you 8,000 questions.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So that was probably a misconception
Yeah.
that I wasn't aware of.
And in the mornings, they had us wake up, immediately get ready, and do like a confessional every single morning. And it would be about like a recap of what happened last night. How are you feeling today? Just kind of like a check-in. But to be honest, none of those aired. So, and honestly, I
could have been sleeping.
Yeah, I did not really enjoy first thing in the morning getting interrogated. How do you feel? How was last night? Are you sad? Happy? What are you doing today? I'm like, I just woke up 10 minutes ago.
Right. Give me a second to think about it. Yeah. So, yeah. And there's a camera around
all the time.
24/7.
Yeah.
And that's like at a certain point, do you even just kind of forget that it's there?
I was pretty unaware of them after like the first day.
Yeah.
Especially the robo cameras too, because they're even when the actual cameras aren't here.
That's how you get caught up.
Swear to God. But yeah,
That's how you end up on the bonfire.
yes. And when you're going to sleep, like you see them in every corner. You're like,
Oh my
okay,
God.
well,
So Danny slept in
I
my
don't
room.
know how I would be able to sleep if I'd be like, oh my God.
That's what I'm saying. Danny slept in my room a few nights, and like I was like, I am not hooking up with someone on TV. So
Right.
we're like very careful, like laying in bed next to each other. I'm like, don't get on top of me. Don't make it look any type of way. Like we're not doing this.
right. Yeah.
No, that is so true. It's like you're like, we are being watched.
Yeah.
Which is
The red lights, yeah,
Crazy.
they just
Yes.
like follow.
Pimple
you.
patches and all. I'm like, they are really seeing
they're-
everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, ladies, thank you so much for coming in and chatting and being in New York and coming to see me. I'm so excited that you guys came and we could talk about the show. And those guys are in the past, but we're looking forward to the next guys.
Yes. Let's find them.
Amen.
Amazing. Thanks, guys.
Thanks
Thank
for having
you.
us.